Today, I'm going to show you how you can keep your power windows working smoothly for years and years without running into expensive problems. A lot of people don't think about their car windows until the day they push the button and nothing happens. You press the switch, you expect the glass to move, but instead you get silence. The good news is that power windows are actually pretty simple systems, and with a few easy maintenance tricks, you can prevent many common failures before they happen. The way a power window works is surprisingly straightforward. When you press the button, the switch sends power and ground to an electric motor. That motor turns in one direction and moves the window down. Then when you push the button the other way, the switch reverses the power and ground going to the motor, causing the motor to spin in the opposite direction and move the window back up. A DC motor can rotate in either direction depending on how electricity flows through it. If you send positive power on one side and negative power on the other side, the motor spins one way. Reverse those connections and the motor spins the opposite way. The motor itself is the same. It simply changes direction depending on the electrical flow. One direction lowers the window and the other direction raises it. Older vehicles were much simpler. You turned a handle one way and the window came down, then turned it the other way and the window went back up. There were fewer parts and fewer things that could fail. But today, almost every vehicle comes with electric windows, and because they are used constantly, they need a little care to keep them operating properly. Here's a common situation many drivers experience. You press the button to lower a window, but the glass doesn't move at all. The motor may not sound like it is doing anything, and the window just stays stuck in the same position. Many people immediately assume something expensive has failed, but sometimes there is a simple trick that can get the window moving again. If a power window is stuck in the up position, open the door, press the window switch to make it go down, and while holding the switch, slam the door firmly. Sometimes the vibration from the door closing can free up a window mechanism that has become stuck. This simple trick can often get the window moving again, especially when the problem is caused by sticking parts rather than a completely failed motor. However, the best solution is not waiting until the window gets stuck. The better approach is preventing the problem before it starts. And one of the easiest ways to do this is by using silicone spray. Make sure you use actual silicone spray, not regular WD-40. Some products may have WD-40 written on them as a brand name, but what you need is a water-resistant silicone lubricant. You can use any brand of silicone spray. The reason it works so well is because your window moves up and down through rubber runners and guides. Over time, those areas can become dry, dirty, and create extra resistance. That extra friction forces the window motor to work harder than it should. Spray a small amount of silicone lubricant into the window runners where the glass slides. If a little spray gets outside the area, don't worry. Simply wipe away any extra residue with a clean cloth, then do the same thing on the backside where the other window runner is located. After applying the lubricant, move the window up and down and wipe away any remaining silicone from the outside and inside surfaces. A great time to do this maintenance is on a cloudy day or when the vehicle is parked in the shade or inside a garage. You don't want to spray silicone onto extremely hot metal sitting under direct sunlight. If some silicone accidentally gets onto your paint, it can usually be wiped away easily, especially when the surface is cool. This small amount of lubrication can make a huge difference because the silicone is water resistant and will stay in place for a long time. It reduces friction, helps the window move easier, and reduces stress on the motor and regulator assembly. It is a simple maintenance step that can help all 4 electric windows operate smoothly. There's another important habit that can protect your window motors. If your vehicle has automatic lowering windows, use the feature properly. You press the button, release it, and when the window reaches the bottom, the system automatically stops the motor. But if your vehicle does not have automatic windows, pay attention when the glass reaches the bottom. Once the window is fully lowered, release the switch. Do not continue holding the button after the window has already reached the end of its travel. The reason is simple. When you continue holding the switch, electricity keeps flowing to the motor even though the window cannot move any farther. The motor continues trying to push the window down, creating unnecessary strain. Over time, this extra stress can cause the motor to wear out or eventually burn itself out. The exact same idea applies when raising the window. Once the glass reaches the top, release the switch. Do not keep holding the button while the window is already fully closed. Some vehicles have automatic lowering windows but require you to hold the switch while raising the glass. If you have this type of system, remember that the same physics applies. When the window reaches the top and you keep holding the switch, the motor continues pushing as hard as it can. This extra pressure can damage not only the motor, but also the regulator assembly that moves the window up and down. The best systems are the ones that work automatically in both directions. You press the button once, the window goes down, stops by itself, and when you press it upward, it automatically goes back up and stops at exactly the right time. If your vehicle has this type of feature, use it. The system is designed to prevent over-tensioning and reduce unnecessary stress on the window components. Another power window tip that can save you a lot of money involves something many people overlook. As a vehicle gets older, you may notice something strange when operating the windows. You press the switch to make the window go up or down, and suddenly the engine idle changes. Maybe the engine sounds like it is slowing down slightly, or if you are sitting at a stop sign, you notice the headlights becoming dimmer. Many people immediately assume the window motor is failing. They think the motor is weak, the regulator is damaged, and they need to replace expensive parts. But before you start buying a new window assembly, check something much more important first. Check the battery and the alternator. This test can take about 2 minutes, and it can prevent you from wasting hundreds of dollars on parts you don't actually need. Power window motors require a reasonable amount of electricity when they operate. If your battery is weak or your alternator is not charging correctly, turning on the window motor can put enough extra demand on the electrical system to make the engine idle differently or make the headlights dim. The problem may not be the window motor at all. The real issue could be that your battery is losing strength or the alternator is not producing the correct charging power. This is a mistake that happens more often than people realize. Someone notices the lights dim when using the windows, assumes the motor is bad, and replaces the window motor assembly. But after spending money on the repair, the problem is still there because the real problem was the charging system. A weak battery or a failing alternator can create symptoms that look like a bad window motor. That is why checking the basic electrical system first is always a smart move. If the battery checks out fine and the alternator is charging correctly, but the engine still struggles or the headlights still dim whenever you operate the window, then there's a better chance that the window motor itself is starting to wear out. It could also be a problem with the regulator, which is the mechanical assembly responsible for moving the window glass up and down. From experience, when power windows do fail on many modern vehicles, the repair process is not always as expensive as people expect. Many vehicles now have aftermarket motor and regulator assemblies available. Instead of replacing individual pieces separately, you can often purchase the complete assembly together. In some cases, if you buy the motor and regulator separately from a dealer, the cost could be almost $400. But many discount auto parts stores offer motor and regulator assemblies for under $100, and many of these replacements work perfectly fine. Knowing this can save you a lot of money because you do not always have to pay dealership prices for a simple repair. Understanding how the system works allows you to diagnose the problem before spending money. Now, there is another power window mistake that can create a very expensive repair, and it has nothing to do with the motor. It involves the window switch assembly. Never let kids spill drinks, especially sugary drinks, around the window switch controls. This is especially important in vehicles where the switch assembly is located in the center console area. A drink like a big gulp may seem harmless, but the sticky syrup inside those drinks can cause serious damage. Many people think, it is just a switch, I can replace it easily. But modern vehicles are not built with simple switches anymore. Many newer vehicles use electronic switch assemblies that contain computer circuits and micro circuit boards. Once liquid gets inside, especially sugary liquid that leaves behind a sticky residue, it can damage the electronics. Replacing one of these switch assemblies can cost $400 or $500 on modern vehicles. That is a lot of money for something that could have been prevented by simply keeping drinks away from the controls. Water, soda, juice, and other liquids should always be kept away from these expensive electronic components. A small accident can turn into a major repair bill. The good news is that most power window problems can be avoided with simple habits. Keep the window tracks lubricated with silicone spray. Avoid forcing the motor after the window reaches its limit. Pay attention to electrical problems before replacing parts, and protect the switch assembly from spills. These small steps can help your electric windows work smoothly for years and reduce the chances of expensive repairs. Power windows are one of those features people rarely think about until something goes wrong. Every day you press a button and expect the glass to move instantly. But behind that simple action is an electrical system, a motor, a regulator, switches, and moving parts that all need to work together. Taking care of those parts does not require complicated tools or advanced mechanical skills. A little prevention goes a long way. A few minutes of maintenance today can save you from a frustrating repair later. Keeping the window tracks clean and lubricated reduces stress. Using the automatic features correctly protects the motor. Checking the battery and alternator prevents unnecessary part replacements. Protecting the switches prevents costly electronic failures. Now you know the important secrets behind keeping your car's electric windows working properly for as long as possible. Instead of waiting for a failure and paying for repairs, you can prevent many common problems before they happen. Taking care of these small details means your windows can continue opening and closing smoothly, saving you time, trouble, and money in the future. So remember these simple power window tips, because a little attention now can keep your vehicle's window system working the way it was designed for many years.